They looked at you standing alone and thought they had the upper hand. Their numbers gave them false confidence. But here's what they didn't understand. When faced with someone like you, driven by purpose, armed with unshakable faith, and guided by a divine force, their numbers are meaningless. You are not just one person. You are a force. You are a storm. And that terrifies them. It isn't what you do that sends chills down their spines. It's who you are. A single, unwavering presence, unbent by fear, unshaken by opposition, and unstoppable in your mission. You are a living reminder of their fragility. A lone figure standing tall while they huddle together, whispering, scheming, and clinging to the illusion of strength found in numbers. If this message resonates with you, if it fuels your spirit and reminds you of your own unstoppable potential, take a moment to join this journey. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us of the power of faith and purpose. Together, we'll uncover the truth of who we are meant to be and stand tall in our calling. Hit that subscribe button now and step into your destiny, because the world needs more forces like you. Their so-called power is a fragile illusion, built on numbers, alliances, and the shallow comfort of groupthink. Witches, warlocks, gossipers, and cliques of envy. They thrive in the shadows, weaving false narratives and whispering lies, mistaking collective agreement for true strength. They huddle together, drawing false courage from their alliances, believing their numbers make them invincible. But their strength is as delicate as glass, shattering under the weight of one individual who stands tall, unwavering, and moves with divine purpose. What terrifies them most isn't your actions, it's your independence. They fear the way you stand alone, undeterred by their schemes and untouchable by their manipulations. Your strength doesn't come from their approval, their alliances, or their validation. While they depend on the noise of their groups to mask their fragility, you walk in silence, resolute, focused, and unstoppable. In you, they see everything they lack. Your clarity, your fearlessness, your unshakable resolve. It all serves as a mirror to their insecurities. While they cling to each other, you stand apart, exposing the truth they work so hard to hide. Their power is nothing more than a mirage, their unity a fragile crutch propping up their fear of standing alone. You don't just walk with independence, you embody it. You prove that true strength doesn't need numbers to thrive. It is rooted in purpose, fortified by faith, and unstoppable when guided by something greater. And that is why they fear you. You are the force that shatters their illusions and reminds them of the truth they dare not face. Your solitude is not a weakness, it is your greatest strength. It is a deliberate, strategic position, one that allows you to stand unburdened by distractions or the weight of false alliances. In stripping away the unnecessary, you have uncovered the core of your mission, the pure and unshakable essence of your purpose. Every step you take is deliberate, every decision rooted in clarity and focus. You are not scattered or uncertain like those who huddle in groups for validation. Instead, you move with the precision of someone guided by a higher calling. While they scramble to gather allies, trying desperately to reinforce their fragile sense of control, you stride forward with a quiet confidence that speaks louder than all their noise. Their strength is superficial, built on numbers and held together by fear. But your solitude has refined you. It has sharpened your focus, strengthened your resolve, and set you apart as a beacon of clarity and self-assuredness. They see your independence as a threat because it shines a glaring light on their dependency. They rely on their numbers, clinging to one another like shipwrecked sailors clutching at driftwood, while you stand firm, like a lighthouse cutting through the chaos of their storm. Your calm, unshaken presence exposes their fragility. This is why they fear you. Your solitude isn't isolation, it's liberation. Free from their noise and schemes, you are able to see clearly and act decisively. Your independence is a testament to your strength, a force that cuts through their illusions like a blade, leaving nothing but truth in its wake. You don't just walk alone, you thrive alone, proving that true power lies not in numbers, but in purpose. History is filled with extraordinary individuals who, like you, stood alone and dismantled the false empires of their time. These are the ones who faced overwhelming odds, yet their unshakable faith, clarity of purpose, and divine alignment made them unstoppable. Elijah is one such figure. Alone on Mount Carmel, he stood against hundreds of false prophets who claimed power and truth through their numbers. Elijah didn't waver. He didn't need a crowd or the validation of others to confirm his mission. His unwavering trust in God was all he needed to call down fire from heaven, exposing the lies of an entire nation and demonstrating the undeniable power of truth. Buddha's story, too, is one of transformative solitude. Beneath the Bodhi tree, surrounded by temptations, distractions, and challenges, he found clarity not in the noise of the world, but in the silence of stillness. It was there, in solitude, that he attained enlightenment, a wisdom so profound it would ripple through humanity for millennia, reshaping entire civilizations. His choice to embrace solitude was not an escape. It was an act of deep purpose, allowing him to see beyond the illusions of the world. St. Francis of Assisi turned away from the wealth and clamor of society to embrace simplicity and quiet devotion. In solitude, he discovered spiritual truths that redefined faith and inspired countless others to seek a deeper, more authentic connection with God. His resolve, born out of silence and humility, stood as a challenge to the materialism and noise of his time. Like these individuals, your independence is not isolation, it is strength. It is a declaration that you do not rely on the shifting sands of collective validation to find purpose. Instead, you draw power from a deeper source. Your unwavering resolve is a mirror, revealing the fragility of the systems and illusions that others depend on. You, like them, are proof that one aligned soul can challenge and dismantle even the mightiest of falsehoods. You embody a courage that most people can only dream of. It is the rare kind of bravery that pushes beyond fear and comfort, the same courage Christopher Columbus alluded to when he said, "You can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore." While others cling to the safety of familiarity, terrified to step into the unknown, you stride forward, guided not by what you see, but by a faith that burns brighter than any uncertainty. Your purpose is your compass, and your resolve is unshakable. This independence terrifies them because it forces them to confront their deepest inadequacies. In you, they see everything they lack: clarity, strength, and the audacity to walk alone without needing validation or reassurance. While they depend on the crutch of numbers and alliances, you walk with unwavering confidence, showing that true power doesn't come from the approval of others but from a higher calling. Their power is built on illusions, on fear, manipulation, and the fragile belief that they can control those around them. But you've torn through those illusions, dismantling their schemes and exposing their vulnerabilities. Your clarity cuts through their chaos like a sword, leaving them powerless in the face of your truth. You don't just stand apart, you shine. Your courage is disruptive because it reveals that strength doesn't come from the noise of the crowd but from the stillness of purpose. They fear you because you are a reminder of what they could be if they had the bravery to step away from their illusions. But they don't. And so they tremble, powerless against the light you carry. You are not just moving forward. You are a radiant force of light cutting through the thickest darkness. They thrive in shadows, weaving schemes, sowing confusion, and planting seeds of doubt in those they seek to control. But your presence disrupts their plans like a blazing beacon in the night, exposing their hidden agendas and rendering their efforts powerless. Your calm, steady confidence doesn't just silence their whispers, it obliterates them. Their lies crumble under the sheer weight of your unwavering resolve, leaving them nowhere to hide. Your resilience is more than just a shield, it is a mirror. It forces them to confront their deepest fears and insecurities, reflecting back the truth of their own fragility. While they try to control through fear, manipulation, and deceit, you remain steadfast, unshaken by their attempts. Each time they try to rattle you, Your strength only serves to reveal the emptiness of their tactics. You don't just endure their chaos. You operate above it, with precision and clarity they cannot match. They spread fear in the hopes of paralyzing others, but you radiate fearlessness. Your confidence is disarming, a quiet yet undeniable force that leaves them scrambling for answers. While they hide behind deception, you stand firm in truth. Your ability to move with purpose, unencumbered by doubt or fear, reveals the futility of their schemes. You are a force they cannot comprehend, a light they cannot extinguish. And with every step you take, their shadows retreat, unable to stand in the face of the fearless clarity you embody. Adversity has always been their weapon, their way of breaking others down and seizing control. But for you, it has become a proving ground, a place where your strength has been refined and your resolve fortified. Every challenge they've hurled at you, every attempt to break your spirit, has only served to make you stronger. Like gold refined in the intense heat of a furnace, your trials have purified you, stripping away doubt and fear and leaving behind an unshakable faith and clarity of purpose. They thought their schemes, lies, and manipulations would extinguish your light, but all they've done is make it burn brighter. Each obstacle they placed in your path has become a stepping stone, lifting you higher, closer to the fulfillment of your mission. What they meant for harm, God has turned into good, transforming their weapons into tools for your growth. Every victory you claim is more than just a personal milestone. It's a testament to the divine power guiding you. Unlike their fleeting triumphs, built on deceit, compromise, and manipulation, your success is clean, untarnished, and undeniable. Your triumphs shine as proof of a life lived in alignment with God's will, a reflection of what happens when faith is your foundation and purpose is your compass. Their efforts to destroy you have only strengthened the very things they sought to weaken. Your resilience has become an unmovable force, and your faith has become a radiant light that exposes their shadows. You are living proof that adversity does not define you. It refines you, preparing you for greater victories and aligning you ever closer with the purpose you are meant to fulfill. You are not merely weathering the storm. You are the storm. Your very presence disrupts their carefully laid plans, sending shockwaves through their strategies and scattering their efforts like leaves in a fierce wind. They have spent so much time constructing fragile webs of influence and control, only to watch them unravel in the face of your unwavering strength. Every step you take, every move you make, is a declaration that their power was never real. It was always an illusion, built on fear and manipulation. You expose this truth with every act of courage and clarity. What truly terrifies them is not the idea of losing control over you. It's the realization that they never had it in the first place. They relied on intimidation, deceit, and the hope that you would falter, but your fearlessness has dismantled their strategies before they even had a chance to take root. They depend on uncertainty and doubt, planting seeds of hesitation in others to maintain their grip on power. But you deny them that foothold. You move with confidence and faith, leaving no room for their schemes to gain traction. Your strength is something they cannot replicate, a clarity they cannot disrupt, and a faith they cannot silence. They scramble to regain a sense of control, but their efforts are futile in the face of your steady resolve. You are a force they never anticipated, a storm they cannot predict, and a power they cannot contain. Their illusions crumble, their fears are laid bare, and their hold on others disintegrates as they come to terms with the undeniable truth. You are unstoppable. You are far more than just one person standing against opposition. You are a force of nature, an uncontainable power that cannot be subdued or silenced. Your authority is not rooted in numbers, alliances, or worldly validation. It flows from a divine source that they cannot comprehend, let alone manipulate. While they scramble for agreement and cling to the shifting sands of collective opinion, you remain unshaken. You stand firm, like a mountain rising above the storm, immovable and steadfast, no matter how fiercely the winds of opposition rage against you. Your independence is not isolation, it is liberation. It is the freedom to move with clarity and precision, unburdened by the distractions, doubts, and schemes that weigh others down. You are not confined by the expectations of others or the need for their approval. Instead, you are guided by a higher calling, one that infuses your every step with purpose and power. Every victory you achieve is more than just a personal triumph. It is a testament to the strength that comes from walking in alignment with something greater than yourself. It is a declaration of what is possible when faith, focus, and divine guidance come together. While they stumble in confusion, weighed down by the chaos they create, you move forward with calm confidence, a living embodiment of clarity and purpose. Your presence is a challenge to their very foundation. It reveals the fragility of the systems they depend on and the emptiness of their collective strength. They see in you the undeniable truth. True power does not come from numbers or manipulation, but from an unwavering connection to something eternal. And that truth is your greatest victory. They cling desperately to their numbers, gathering in groups and alliances, hoping that the illusion of collective strength will hide the truth. They believe their numbers make them powerful, that the weight of their combined voices can drown out what they fear most, the undeniable light of truth. But their power is a facade, a fragile construct held together by fear, manipulation, and deception. They depend on intimidation, spreading lies and creating chaos. But their schemes crumble when confronted by someone like you, someone who walks in unwavering truth. You have exposed them for what they are, weak, hollow, and dependent on the approval of others to feel powerful. Their strength has no foundation because it is rooted in shadows, designed to exploit insecurity. But you are a disruptor, a breaker of chains. You shine a light so bright that their darkness has nowhere to hide. Their whispers fade into irrelevance. Their lies dissolve under the weight of your truth, and their schemes fail in the face of your clarity. Your strength doesn't come from external validation or the fleeting approval of others. It is born of an unshakable inner resolve, fortified by purpose and guided by divine alignment. You are proof that true power is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady, and unmovable. Your presence alone challenges the systems they've built, forcing them to confront their dependency on illusions. You are living testimony to the truth they fear to face, that their numbers, their schemes, and their control are powerless against someone who stands firm in their calling. You don't just survive their opposition, you dismantle it one step at a time, with the unyielding strength of someone who moves in truth. They cannot control what they cannot understand, and you are beyond their comprehension. Your strength doesn't fit into their framework, and that terrifies them. It is not something they can manipulate, diminish, or replicate, because it flows from a higher power, one they cannot reach, influence, or even grasp. This divine connection is the foundation of your resolve, the source of your clarity, and the reason you cannot be shaken. That is why they fear you. That is why they will never win. You move with quiet assurance, your actions speaking louder than their noise or schemes ever could. While they clamor for attention and gather in groups to bolster their fragile sense of power, you move in silence, confident in your purpose. Every step you take is deliberate, guided by faith, and unyielding in its precision. You stride forward with the calm assurance of someone who knows their path is divinely aligned, and that knowledge makes you unstoppable. While they rely on collective noise to drown out their fears, you stand apart, a solitary force that commands attention without saying a word. Your strength is not found in numbers or alliances, but in the quiet, unshakable certainty of who you are and who has sent you. Their schemes falter, and their confidence crumbles when confronted with your unwavering presence. You are a reminder of what they lack: the ability to stand alone, the clarity of divine guidance, and the power of a purpose greater than themselves. They cannot control or predict you, and that is why you are unstoppable. You don't just move forward, you move with purpose, leaving their illusions shattered in your wake. You don't just expose their illusions, you shatter them completely. Every victory you claim, every step you take forward, is a bold declaration that their power was never real. It was always a fragile mirage, built on fear and manipulation. Their threats dissolve like smoke when confronted with your unwavering resolve. You are not just surviving their opposition, you are thriving in the midst of it. You are the storm they cannot predict, the force they cannot contain, and the truth they cannot silence. This is why they fear you, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You are living proof that true strength flows not from numbers or schemes, but from faith, clarity, and divine purpose. Each step you take sends a ripple through their illusions, proving that their power pales in comparison to the eternal, unshakable force that guides you. Your presence isn't just a challenge to their plans, it is a revelation of a higher truth they cannot suppress. If this message resonates with you and has reminded you of the power of walking in faith and purpose, we invite you to join us on this journey. Your support means so much, and together, we can continue to shine light into the darkest corners. Subscribe to the channel to explore more uplifting stories, empowering messages, and reflections that inspire strength and clarity in every step you take. Thank you for being part of this community, and remember, your journey is divinely guided and your power is greater than you realize. There is something profoundly unsettling about the silence that follows a storm. Not the kind that brings relief, but the kind that whispers an even greater catastrophe is approaching. Too often, people mistake the eye of the hurricane for the end rather than the warning. Throughout history, civilizations, nations, and even individuals have thrived under the presence of the divinely assigned, often without realizing it. They mistake grace for coincidence, protection for luck, and divine warnings for background noise. And then one day, the chosen are gone. The voices that spoke the truth, even when no one wanted to hear it, the ones who carried a presence that defied explanation, the ones who disrupted what needed disturbing, vanish. Just like that. And what follows is not a mere void, but a reckoning, a shift, a collapse that no one saw coming. If you think this is just a metaphor, think again. History proves it. The sudden absence of key individuals often precedes major events: collapse, war, chaos, and judgment. When Lot left Sodom, fire followed. When Jesus left the temple, destruction came. Even in modern times, societies only recognize the importance of certain figures when the damage becomes irreversible. If you once laughed at the chosen, ignored their words, dismissed their presence as nothing more than a passing shadow, this may be the moment you start paying attention. Because when God decides their mission is complete and it's time for them to leave, their exit is not just a disappearance. It is an event, and what follows, no one wants to see. God's chosen ones don't move through life unnoticed. Their presence alone forces people to make a choice, align with truth or resist it. They disrupt systems, shatter false narratives, and challenge spiritual complacency. They make people uncomfortable, often without even trying. This is why the chosen often experience rejection, betrayal, and resistance. Not because they are wrong, but because they are doing exactly what they were sent to do. They weren't placed here to make peace with dysfunction. They were sent to expose it. Their mission was never about being liked. It was about reminding the world that darkness has an expiration date. But here's the truth. Their time is limited. They were never meant to stay in one place forever. And when God removes them, it is not an afterthought. It is a calculated move. Some will realize their absence too late. Others will finally understand that what they resisted was the only thing keeping judgment at bay. The chosen weren't here for comfort. They were here to collide with what was never meant to stand. And when their purpose is fulfilled, their removal isn't a retreat. It is a statement. Leaving does not mean losing. It does not mean failure or surrender. When God pulls His chosen ones out, it is not because they were too weak to stay. It is because their work was already done. They were never called to fix everything, only to shift the atmosphere. And once that's done, their removal is not just necessary, it is strategic. Some might see their departure as abandonment. Others might assume they were never as powerful as they seemed. But that's the mistake people always make. They assume that the chosen are meant to hold up the weight of everything indefinitely, that their prayers, their presence, their very existence keeps things from falling apart. But in reality, they were only ever meant to be a warning, a catalyst, a temporary shield. Once they are gone, the consequences of what was ignored, dismissed, or fought against will come full force. People rarely understand the significance of someone's presence until that presence is removed. And when the chosen are gone, things don't just stay the same, they unravel. Not because the chosen wanted destruction, but because their departure is proof that grace has shifted. God does not place his chosen randomly. They are assigned to specific places, people, and moments for a defined purpose. They are the answer to a crisis, one that most do not even recognize until it's too late. But they were never meant to stay. Their role was temporary. Their mission had a deadline, and their presence was a divine response to a problem that wouldn't be addressed any other way. Once that problem is handled, whether by exposing it, shifting it, or giving people a final chance to change, there is no reason for them to remain. The mistake people make? Assuming that the chosen will always be there. They take for granted the wisdom, the covering, the warnings. Some even resent or resist them, assuming that no matter what, they will always be around, until one day they're not. That's when reality sets in. The peace they dismissed, gone. The supernatural favor they never acknowledged, lifted. The silent protection they didn't even realize was shielding them, removed. That's when they realize the chosen weren't just another voice, another presence, another person. They were the reason things hadn't fallen apart sooner. And now, they are gone. People love the idea of being chosen by God until they realize what it actually means. It does not mean applause, admiration, or acceptance. It means walking into places where you are not wanted and saying things people do not want to hear. It means being labeled as difficult, extreme, or even dangerous. Not because you are wrong, but because you refuse to be silent. History proves it. Prophets weren't celebrated. They were stoned, exiled, and murdered. Jesus himself, the greatest of all, wasn't embraced. He was betrayed, falsely accused, and crucified by the very people he came to save. So why would it be different for those he sends? The chosen are not assigned to comfort people in their illusions. They are sent to tear them down, to expose lies, to shake up systems, to remind the world that God is watching. But here's the problem. People love darkness more than light. They don't want to be awakened. They want to be left alone. So when a chosen one steps in, carrying truth like a sword, resistance is inevitable. The rejection isn't personal, it's prophetic. There is a painful reality that every chosen one must accept. Not everyone will change, no matter how much truth they receive. You can preach, warn, pray, and pour everything you have into people, but some will never wake up, not because they don't understand, but because they don't want to. It's easy to believe that if you just say the right words or show people enough love, they will open their eyes. But the truth is, some hearts are set in stone. Some people aren't asleep. They are actively resisting the truth because it threatens their comfort, their power, or their illusions. No matter how hard you try, you cannot force transformation that only God can bring. Your mission was never about fixing the world. It was about giving the world a chance. Every word you spoke, every warning you gave, every moment you spent trying to wake people up, that wasn't for your own satisfaction. It was so that when the time comes, when everything they ignored finally collapses, they won't be able to say, "I didn't know." It's not your job to make people listen. It's your job to deliver the message. Whether they accept it or reject it is between them and God. Some will change, some won't. But either way, you did what you were sent to do. Everything you went through, the betrayals, the rejection, the isolation, the suffering, was never just about you. It wasn't punishment, bad luck, or random hardship. It was a message. You were a living prophecy, a warning in human form. God's chosen ones don't just speak truth, they become it. They carry the weight of the message in their own lives, their own wounds, their own struggles. Before they ever open their mouths, their existence preaches a sermon. People may ignore your words, but they cannot ignore the evidence written on your life. That's why the attacks came. That's why people turned on you. Why you were misunderstood. Why doors closed that should have opened. Not because you were wrong, but because your life exposed what others wanted to keep hidden. You didn't just talk about endurance, you endured. You didn't just warn about betrayal, you lived through it. You didn't just speak of rejection, you felt it firsthand. Your suffering was the proof. Some will wake up because of your pain. Others will ignore it until they experience it themselves. But either way, your suffering wasn't wasted. Your scars are not just wounds. They are evidence that you carried the message. You weren't sent just to warn people. You were sent to become the warning. People don't always recognize what they have until it's gone. They hear, but they don't listen. They see, but they don't understand. And then one day you're no longer there. No more warnings, no more prayers, no more presence holding things together. That's when reality hits. Your absence is not just a disappearance, it's a divine announcement. The people who dismissed you will start to notice the difference. The peace they took for granted, gone. The protection they didn't even realize was covering them, lifted. The wisdom they rolled their eyes at suddenly makes sense. This is how God works. He removes his chosen ones not just to protect them, but to wake up those who refuse to listen while they had the chance. Some will reflect and realize they made a mistake. Others will scramble to find someone else to fill the void. But it won't be the same, because what you carried wasn't just knowledge or kindness, it was a divine assignment. And assignments can't be replaced by convenience. The silence you leave behind will be louder than any words you ever spoke, because now, people aren't just hearing what you said, they are feeling the absence of what you carried. And that is the real warning. When God removes his chosen, it is not just for their benefit, it is a shift in the spiritual landscape, a divine recalibration, a warning sign that what follows will not be pleasant. Your presence was not just about your mission. It was a covering, an opportunity, and a grace period for those around you. When you leave, it is not just your life that changes. It is the atmosphere, the destiny of those who failed to heed the call, the structures that refuse to correct themselves. God does not remove his chosen without reason. It is always a sign that something significant is about to unfold, whether people are ready for it or not. The world does not understand the cost of ignoring the chosen until the consequences come full circle, and by then, it is too late. There will always be those who refuse to see, those who think they can silence the messengers and avoid the message. But history shows otherwise. When God removes his chosen, what follows is judgment. Not because the chosen wished for destruction, but because their presence was holding back the storm. Some people were only protected because of the prayers of the chosen. Some businesses thrived because of the favor they carried. Some communities stood strong because of the spiritual foundation they established. When they are gone, the covering is gone. And what remains is the consequence of rejection. This is the moment when everything shifts. When grace is no longer an option. When people who thought they had more time realize they don't. The reckoning is here, and the world will feel the difference. Your time here was never meant to be indefinite. You were sent, you fulfilled your mission. And now the departure is not a loss. It is a fulfillment of divine timing. For those who recognized you, they will be strengthened. For those who dismissed you, they will learn through absence what they failed to grasp in presence. You were a voice, a shield, a warning. And now, it is time to go. Walk forward with confidence, knowing you have done your part. And for those left behind, the truth will be undeniable. The chosen were here, and the world will never be the same again. Chosen ones, what I am about to reveal may surprise you. It may even shake you to your core. Deep within, you have always felt different, as if there was something special about you that others couldn't understand. If you are watching this video, know this: it is not a coincidence. You are here for a reason. Your childhood was anything but ordinary. There were moments, signs, and experiences that carried a divine message, even if you didn't recognize them at the time. You were chosen from the very beginning, marked for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. This video will help you remember what has been hidden from you and awaken you to your true identity. So, I urge you, watch this video until the end. What I am about to share will open your eyes and bring a spiritual awakening that will change your life forever. Before we begin, I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, like this video, so more chosen ones can find it. Number 2, subscribe to our channel. Let's grow this community to 30,000 strong. Number 3, comment 99. This number carries powerful energy that will magnify this message. If you are truly chosen, you will feel it in your soul. This message was meant for you. Now, let us embark on this journey together to uncover your divine purpose. From the moment you were born, you were different. The signs were there, subtle, yet powerful. The world may not have noticed, but God did. He set you apart, marking you for something greater, something far beyond the ordinary. While others lived without questioning, you always felt there was more. More to life, more to your existence, more to the world around you. Even as a child, you may have felt out of place, as if you didn't quite belong. While other children played and laughed without a care, you were drawn to deeper thoughts. Perhaps you sat quietly, observing the world, trying to understand things beyond what others could see. Maybe you questioned life in ways that even adults struggled to answer. You may have often asked yourself, why am I here? What is my true purpose? Why do I think differently than everyone else? At times, this difference may have made you feel lonely, like no one truly understood you. But let me tell you this, it was never a weakness. That feeling of being different, of being set apart, was a divine sign. It was God's way of showing you that you were meant for something greater. Ephesians 1:4 tells us, "For he chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world. In his love he predestined us to be holy and without blemish." From the very start, God placed his hand upon you, guiding your steps even when you didn't realize it. Those moments of isolation were preparation, not punishment. They shaped you, molded you, and set you on a path toward your higher calling. Looking back, you may see now that those times when you felt different, when you felt like an outsider, were actually moments of divine positioning. God was aligning your spirit with his purpose, whispering to your soul that you were meant for more. So do not see your past as a burden. See it as a blessing. You were never meant to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. And now the time has come for you to embrace your divine purpose and step fully into the calling that has been upon your life since the very beginning. Number 1. You always felt different. While others fit in easily, you often felt like an outsider. You saw the world differently, thought differently, and questioned things that others never even considered. While many were content with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, you were drawn to deeper truths. Your mind was always searching, always seeking something more, because it was divinely guided. You may have struggled to connect with peers, not because you lacked social skills, but because your thoughts and spirit were always focused on something bigger. Even from a young age, you found yourself contemplating the meaning of life, the mysteries of the universe, and the presence of God. While others were preoccupied with temporary things, you were drawn to truth, wisdom, and spiritual matters. At times, this difference may have felt lonely. You may have wondered, why don't I think like everyone else? Why do I feel so different? But let me tell you this, your uniqueness was never an accident. It was a calling. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God created you to stand out, not to blend in. The way your mind works, the way your heart feels, the way your spirit longs for something greater, it's all part of His divine design. You were set apart for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, because it is the key to your purpose. The world needs people like you, those who see beyond the ordinary, who ask the deeper questions, and who seek the truth that leads to God. Number 2. You had a strong sense of empathy. From childhood, you felt deeply for others. You could sense when someone was hurting, even when they said nothing at all. Their pain weighed on your heart as if it were your own, and their happiness lifted your spirit as if you were the one experiencing it. This was not just sensitivity or a personality trait. It was a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Empathy is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. It means that God has entrusted you with the ability to heal, to comfort, and to guide others toward Him. While the world may see empathy as a burden, in God's eyes, it is a calling. He placed this gift in you so that you could bear the burdens of others, not as a weight to crush you, but as a mission to bring light and love to those who need it most. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It is a sign that God has called you to serve. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to those who are struggling, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or silent support. Maybe you've wondered why you care so much when others seem indifferent. It's because you were chosen to be different. Your compassion was never weakness. It was your strength. It is the evidence of God's hand upon your life, shaping you into someone who reflects His love. Do not run from it. Embrace it. The world needs more hearts like yours. Number 3. You had deep, meaningful dreams. God speaks to His chosen ones in many ways, and one of the most powerful is through dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so intense, that it felt more real than anything else? Have you ever dreamt of something, only to see it unfold in real life days, weeks, or even years later? If so, know this: these were not coincidences. They were divine messages, carefully placed in your heart by God Himself. In Matthew 1:20-21, we see a powerful example of this. "But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, 'Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins.'" Just as God spoke to Joseph, guiding him toward His divine purpose, He still speaks to His chosen ones today. Some dreams bring warnings, preparing you for what's ahead. Others bring clarity, giving you peace in times of uncertainty. Some may even reveal glimpses of the future, awakening you to a deeper spiritual understanding. If you have ever had a dream that stayed with you, one that whispered a truth into your soul, one that felt like more than just imagination, know that it was not random. It was God communicating with you, reminding you that He is guiding your steps. Pay attention to these moments. Pray for understanding. God is revealing something important to you. Are you listening? Number 4. You experienced divine protection. Think back. Have there been moments in your life where danger was near, yet somehow you were spared? Times when a situation should have ended badly, yet everything turned around in ways you couldn't explain? Have you ever looked back at a moment in your past and realized that you shouldn't have made it through, but you did? These moments were not coincidences. They were not luck. They were divine intervention. Psalm 34:7 reminds us, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." This means that God has been watching over you from the very beginning. You were never truly alone, even when you felt lost. His hand was always upon you, protecting you in ways you didn't even realize at the time. Perhaps there were days when you wondered, "How did I get through that?" The answer is simple. God was with you. The enemy may have tried to bring harm into your life, but God's protection was greater. Every time you were saved from unseen danger, every time an opportunity opened when it should have closed, every time you found strength when you should have been broken, those were signs that God was watching over you. Even in the darkest times, even when you doubted, even when you felt abandoned, He never left you. His angels were encamped around you, shielding you from harm. And now, as you step into your divine calling, know this: the same God who protected you then is still with you now. Number 5. You had an unexplainable connection to God. From a young age, you felt drawn to God. Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep inside, you knew He was real. It was as if His presence surrounded you, guiding you in ways you didn't fully understand. While others went about their lives without thinking much about faith, you felt something deeper. A longing, a connection, an unshakable awareness that there was more to this world than what the eyes could see. At times, you may have felt an urge to pray, even when you didn't know why. Perhaps you found yourself talking to God in moments of uncertainty, seeking His presence when you were alone. And when you did, you experienced a peace that went beyond understanding, a calm assurance that no matter what happened, He was with you. Jeremiah 29:12-13 tells us, "You will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." This means your desire for God was never random. It was a divine relationship, one that had been with you since childhood. That connection has always been there, a quiet but powerful presence in your life. It was God's way of reminding you that you were never alone, that He had a purpose for you, and that He was calling you closer to Him. Now it is time to embrace that calling, to nurture that relationship, and to walk confidently in the purpose He has set before you. Everything you have experienced, your loneliness, your deep thoughts, your sensitivity, your vivid dreams, and your unshakable connection to God, was never random. Every moment of doubt, every unanswered question, every feeling of being different was not a mistake. It was preparation. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." This means that nothing you have endured was in vain. Every trial strengthened you. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom in your soul, and every hardship refined you like gold in the fire. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. The pain you felt was shaping you. The moments of rejection were setting you apart. The challenges were molding you into the person God designed you to be. What once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones leading you closer to your divine purpose. Now the question is, will you embrace it? Will you allow everything you have endured to fuel your faith, to step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? The time has come to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Your journey was never meant to end in struggle. It was always meant to lead to victory. Now that you understand the truth, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowing that you are chosen is not just about awareness, it is about action. God did not set you apart without a reason. He did not place this calling upon your life for it to remain dormant. He chose you to be a light in the darkness, a messenger of His love, and a vessel for His divine purpose. You are here to make a difference, to bring hope where there is despair, and to shine in a world that desperately needs God's presence. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." This means your calling is not temporary or insignificant. It is eternal. You were chosen to bear fruit, to impact lives, to spread truth, to walk in faith, and to bring others closer to God. This is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Now, it is time to step into your divine purpose. No more doubting, no more waiting. The same God who called you will equip you. He will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward everything He has prepared for you. The world needs the gifts He has placed inside you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise and walk in the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for such a time as this. If this message has resonated with you, if you recognize these signs in your own life, know this: you are not alone. Many others just like you are awakening to their true purpose. You are part of a greater plan, a divine movement unfolding before our eyes. So, take this message to heart. Embrace it, live it, and share it with those who need to hear it. You were chosen for something extraordinary, something beyond what you can imagine. Now is the time to step forward in faith and claim the purpose that God has placed upon your life. If you are ready to walk in your divine calling, type 99 in the comments. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment with God's plan. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for answering the call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for you. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will fulfill our purpose. Chosen ones, hear me. What I am about to share with you is not just another message. This is a divine revelation, a word you cannot afford to ignore. If you are here right now, it is not by coincidence. God Himself has led you to this moment because He knows this message is meant for you. Everything I am about to tell you is not my own wisdom. It is a divine instruction from the Almighty. The Word of God is alive, sharper than any two-edged sword. It carries the power to break chains, open doors, and lead you into your destiny. So listen closely. What you are about to hear has the power to transform your life forever. The Word of God is not just ink on paper. It breathes, it moves, it transforms. It is the same Word that spoke light into the darkness at the beginning of time. The same Word that healed the sick, raised the dead, and calmed the raging storms. And today, that same Word is coming to you, to breathe life into every dry place in your soul, to shatter every chain that has held you back, and to realign you with the purpose God set for you before the foundation of the world. So do not harden your heart. Do not let distractions steal this moment. Because when God speaks, mountains bow, demons tremble, and the heavens open. Right now, in this very moment, He is speaking directly to you. Will you listen? Will you receive it? I urge you, silence every distraction and open your heart. Receive this word with expectation, because when God speaks, everything changes. And today, change is coming to you. Have you ever found yourself asking, why is my life so difficult? Why does it feel like every burden is placed on my shoulders? Why am I constantly fighting battles that others seem to avoid? You look around and see people living with ease, seemingly untouched by the storms that rage around you. While others walk freely, you are carrying a weight so heavy that at times it feels unbearable. You struggle, you sacrifice, and you pour into others, yet you often feel unappreciated and unseen. You wonder why it always has to be you, the one who figures things out, the one who stands in the gap, the one who bears the weight of responsibility while others seem to drift through life without a care. Let me tell you why. Because you were chosen. You were never meant to walk an ordinary path. You were never meant to have an easy life. God has set you apart for something greater, and that greatness comes with a price. You are not just here to survive. You are here to build, to sustain, to multiply, and to establish something that will outlast you. That is why your battles are greater. That is why your storms are more intense. That is why the enemy has fought so hard to break you, because he knows the calling on your life is too powerful to be ignored. The struggles you face are not random. They are a necessary preparation. God is not punishing you. He is building you. Look at the foundation of a house. If the walls crack, they can be repaired. If the roof leaks, it can be fixed. But if the foundation is weak, the entire house will collapse. That is why your journey has been different, because you are a foundation, a family, a community, Even a nation cannot stand without strong foundations, and you are one of those pillars. That is why you have endured rejection, isolation, and betrayal. That is why you have fought battles in silence while others remained oblivious. Because God is making you strong. Weak people cannot carry great responsibilities. Shallow people cannot uphold generations. Easily shaken people cannot be trusted with divine assignments. And so God has allowed you to be tested, refined, and molded into someone unshakable. When you look at the lives of those called by God, you will see the same pattern. Joseph was betrayed and thrown into a pit before he reached the palace. Moses was rejected and forced into the wilderness before he led Israel to freedom. David was hunted like a fugitive before he took his rightful place on the throne. Even Jesus himself, the Son of God, was despised, rejected, and abandoned in his darkest hour. Their struggles were not punishments, they were preparations. And your struggles are no different. The weight is heavy because the assignment is great. You are not just anyone. You are called. You are chosen. And if God has entrusted you with this burden, He has also given you the strength to carry it. Do not despise your battles. They are shaping you into the leader, the protector, the foundation that God designed you to be. Your hardship is not the end of your story. It is the preparation for something greater than you can imagine. When we think of a breadwinner, the world often defines it as someone who provides financially for their family. But in God's eyes, a true breadwinner is much more than just a provider of money and material needs. They are sustainers, multipliers, and preservers of destinies. They do not merely survive. They build, prepare, and ensure that what is entrusted to them is not only maintained but multiplied for future generations. One of the greatest biblical examples of a true breadwinner is Joseph. His story is not just about survival. It is about divine strategy, wisdom, and stewardship that saved not only a nation, but also the generations that followed. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. Yet through all of this, God was shaping him, preparing him for the moment when he would rise to become a leader who would sustain millions. During the years of abundance in Egypt, Joseph did not waste what he had. He stored it, managed it wisely, and prepared for the famine that was to come. Tells us that when the famine struck, while other lands suffered in lack, Egypt had food because of Joseph's foresight and divine wisdom. He did not just think about the present, he thought generationally. He did not just provide for his family, he positioned himself to sustain entire nations. This is what separates a mere provider from a true breadwinner. A provider gives what is needed for today. A breadwinner builds so that others will not lack tomorrow. Joseph's journey teaches us 3 critical lessons about what it means to be a true breadwinner. First, preparation is key. Breadwinners do not live just for the moment. They prepare for the future. Joseph did not wait until the famine came to act. He made strategic decisions long before the crisis arrived. Second, breadwinners know how to manage resources wisely. They are not wasteful, nor are they reckless. They recognize that what they have is not just for them, but for those they are called to sustain. Third, true breadwinners multiply. Joseph did not merely ensure survival. He used wisdom and divine strategy to turn a crisis into an opportunity for abundance. His leadership did not just feed people for a season, it preserved generations. This is your calling. You are not meant to live in survival mode, constantly struggling just to get by. You are meant to thrive, multiply, and build a legacy that will impact those who come after you. Like Joseph, God has placed in you the ability to create, sustain, and expand. But with that ability comes a responsibility to steward it wisely, to manage it with diligence, and to trust that God will provide the strength and wisdom needed to fulfill your assignment. What will you do with what God has given you? Will you merely survive, or will you rise as a true breadwinner, a foundation upon which generations can stand? The choice is yours. There are moments in life when the burdens we carry feel too heavy to bear. The pressures of responsibility, the weight of expectations, and the struggles that seem unending can leave us feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. In these moments, it's easy to wonder if we have the strength to continue. We question whether we're capable of handling everything that life throws our way. The nights feel longer, the days feel harder, and the hope that once burned brightly seems to flicker. But even in the heaviest moments, we are not alone. Throughout the Bible, we see countless examples of people who carried immense burdens. Moses, tasked with leading an entire nation through the wilderness. David, pursued by enemies while clinging to God's promises. Paul, imprisoned and beaten, yet steadfast in his faith. Yet in every struggle, God provided strength. He reminded them that they were never meant to carry their burdens alone. Jesus himself extended an invitation to the weary, saying, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This promise is not just for those in the past, it is for us today. When the weight feels unbearable, we must remember that we were never designed to carry it by ourselves. God invites us to lay our worries at his feet, to trust that he is strong enough to sustain us. This does not mean our struggles will instantly disappear, but it does mean we are held by a God who walks with us through every storm. Instead of relying on our own strength, we can lean on his. Instead of being crushed by our burdens, we can surrender them to the one who has already overcome the world. So if you find yourself weary, take heart. You are not alone, and you are not forgotten. The same God who strengthened Moses, guided David, and upheld Paul is holding you too. Lay your burdens before him and allow his peace to fill the places where fear and exhaustion once lived. The weight may be heavy, but his grace is always greater. Carrying the weight of your calling can feel overwhelming, but it is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you. One of the first steps to walking in your calling without crumbling under its weight is to stop seeing yourself as a victim. Challenges will come, but they are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to refine you. Instead of asking, "Why me?" Зрение. Сдвиньте перспективу и спросите, «Господь, как я должен распоряжаться этим хорошо?» Every difficulty is an opportunity for growth, and every hardship is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. Another key to sustaining your calling is understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Even Jesus, who carried the greatest mission of all, regularly withdrew to pray. Taking time to recharge is not a sign of weakness, it is wisdom. When you prioritize your spiritual and emotional well-being, you are better equipped to fulfill your calling with endurance and joy. Beyond thinking about today, you must also think generationally. Proverbs 13:22 reminds us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Your calling is not just about you, it is about those who will come after you. What you build today will impact future generations. Whether through your faith, your obedience, or the legacy you leave, your calling is part of a much bigger picture. Keeping this perspective will help you persevere when challenges arise. At times, you will be misunderstood. This is a reality that even great biblical leaders faced. Joseph was despised by his own brothers. David's family doubted his ability. Jesus himself was rejected in his hometown. Not everyone will understand your calling, and that is okay. You do not need validation from everyone, only faithfulness to the one who called you. Above all, remember that God is your ultimate source. You are not the one who sustains your calling. He is. Philippians 4:19 assures us that God will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. You do not have to carry this weight alone. Surrender your burdens, trust in his provision, and walk forward with confidence, knowing that he who called you is faithful to sustain you. Heavenly Father, I come before you today, lifting up every person listening to this message, every man, every woman who carries the weight of provision for their family. Lord, you see their struggles, their silent prayers, and the burdens they carry. Many are weary, many feel overwhelmed, but you are their strength, their refuge, and their provider. Right now, in the mighty name of Jesus, I declare a breakthrough over their lives. Father, I pray that every chain of struggle be broken. Let every spirit of heaviness be lifted and every financial burden be overturned. You are Jehovah Jireh, our provider, and I trust that you are already making a way where there seems to be no way. No attack of the enemy will prosper against them, for you are their shield and defender. Strengthen them, Lord, not just physically but emotionally and spiritually. Fill their hearts with peace and their minds with clarity. Let them know that they are not alone in this journey. Pour out supernatural provision, divine favor, and unexpected blessings over their lives. Open doors of opportunity, multiply the work of their hands, and guide them in wisdom as they steward their resources. Let them walk in victory, prosperity, and the fullness of their divine purpose. May they never forget that they are not just providing for their families. They are laying a foundation of faith, perseverance, and legacy. And Lord, I thank you for them. Thank you for their sacrifices, their love, and their dedication. May they feel seen, valued, and appreciated, not just by their families, but by you, the one who rewards those who trust in you. I declare over them today, they are chosen, they are covered, they are victorious. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. If this word spoke to you, let's subscribe, share, and sow into this mission, because you are not just a breadwinner, you are a history maker. God bless you.